Coming up on Network Africa. Tick-tock goes the clock, and the deadline for the South Sudan peace deal is here. The warring factions either sign a peace deal or get sanctioned. Then, as Burundi continues to boil following President Nkurunziza's third-term bid, the African Union is concerned that the crisis could be catastrophic for the region. And later on, Egypt signs a new anti-terror bill into law, and journalists might not have much press freedom at their disposal. Hello there and welcome to Network Africa on Channels Television with me, Cynthia Are. Now, just before we check in to see what's happening in Addis Ababa concerning the South Sudan peace deal, here's a quick summary of the top 3 African stories which made headlines over the weekend.
The Italian Navy rescued more than 300 migrants on Saturday after 40 died attempting to cross the Mediterranean Sea from Libya to Europe. The captain of the Navy ship leading the rescue said on Italian state television the victims were thought to have been trapped and suffocated in the waterlogged hold of a boat after it took on water. The commander, Massimo Tosi, said that when his men boarded the migrant boat, they found the dead in the hold immersed in water, feal, and human excrement. Then Burundi recorded yet another prominent death over the weekend as the former head of Burundi's army was shot dead outside his home in the capital, Bujumbura. Colonel Jean Bikomagu, who led the armed forces during the country's civil war, was gunned down as he drove through the gates of his house. His daughter was badly injured in the attack. Still talking Burundi, the United Nations might have desisted from monitoring the Burundi elections, but it continues to be concerned about the crisis in the country. The UN is urging Burundi's leaders to renounce violence and resume their dialogue to prevent the country's political crisis from escalating.
The human rights situation in Burundi continues to deteriorate, with at least 96 people having been killed since the beginning of election-related violence in late April, mostly among the opposition. At least 600 people were arrested and detained during this period, although a good number of them have since been released. There have been at least 60 cases of torture. Burundi has been slipping closer to the edge with every high-profile attack and killing. And we call on leaders on all sides to take concrete steps to renounce the use of violence and to resolve differences peacefully.
The UNHCR says more than 181,000 people have fled to neighboring countries due to the violence.
Now, today is August the 17th, the deadline for the warring factions in South Sudan to sign a peace deal. Now, based on that, the two sides from the conflict in the world's newest country are meeting in Ethiopia's capital, Addis Ababa, as neither of them is keen on facing sanctions. The leaders of Uganda, Kenya, and Ethiopia are also at the summit as part of an international peace-building effort, which includes the United States, UK, the EU, Norway, China, the African Union, and the United Nations. President Suffocate and rebel leader Riek Machar held meetings through the night to address outstanding obstacles. Several previous ceasefire agreements have failed to hold. Let's just bring you some highlights of this South Sudan crisis, which is almost 2 years old now. You will remember, if you've been following the story, that 7 ceasefires have been agreed on and also broken since December 2013 when the crisis first began. Over 10,000 people have lost their lives in the crisis and well over 2 million have been displaced so far. Well, still to come on Network Africa. Burundi continues to boil following President Nkurunziza's third-term bid, and the African Union is concerned that the crisis could be catastrophic for the region.